Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the agency. Your mission, if you choose to accept it, is to build a retro AR. Today I want to do something where I revisit an old video of mine. About a year ago, I made a video called How to Build a Retro AR in 2023. Now, I made that video at a time when the retro market was really hot. It was hard to find parts. It was, between 2021 and 2023, it was like the post-Blood Diamond carbine years where retro guns just blew up in popularity and everybody and their mom was trying to put one together. It was pretty tough to source parts back then. If you were a reenactor or if you were a collector, if you didn't already have something, you were gonna pay a pretty penny to get that. So a year ago, we were in that period between like Brownells had stopped making their retro line of guns, and then PSA and H&R were still ramping up operations. They were still real early on in what they were doing. They hadn't really gotten a lot of product yet to help the market out. Fast forward to a year now and the market's in much better shape. H&R is producing all kinds of different retro parts. You can get them for way cheaper now because they're more plentiful, so you're not seeing the price gouging that you previously would have seen. So the market is healed. It's a much different market than it was last year. So that video is obsolete. So I wanted to revisit that and then do a little bit of retro AR window shopping. So I have a M1 helmet here. It's a reproduction, all right? So cut me some slack. I got a bunch of little sticky notes at the bottom of that helmet, and what we're gonna do, these are some of the most popular retro ARs that people like to build that I see the most of. So we got like an M16A1, a Commando, 733 Annex, and 177, 723, 727. A Blood Diamond carbine is in this little lineup. So I thought I would pick one of these sticky notes out of the helmet and see if we can in real time source all the parts, just to kind of see how the retro market has healed. If I did this video a year ago, it would have been very hard to find pretty much any of the parts for any of the guns inside this helmet. So we are going to go ahead and we're just gonna give it a good shake. Take my hand and kind of move them around a little bit. I got something in my hand here, right? Now I don't know what it is, but I'm gonna show the audience what it is. Is it upside down? I don't know if it's upside down. I think that says, we got the 723, ladies and gentlemen. I'm actually really glad I got the 723 because I can work on my Larry Vickers impression.
Colt model 723, back when I was in Delta, right? Real simple. Good friends of mine over at Palmetto State Armory back in Panama.
I really like the 723, and it kind of feels cheesy that I'm building one. Not building one because I'm not actually purchasing the parts for this. We're window shopping. But I've already done this. But I want to show you guys the current state of the market. So I have not filmed that portion of the video yet, so I have no idea if we're even gonna be able to find all the parts for this, but we're gonna go ahead and do that, I think. And then later on in the video, I want to also build an M16A2 and see if we can beat the price that Springfield Armory is asking for, which is like $1,200. They're pretty late to the market and late to the game, and they're charging quite a bit. Now granted, so is H&R and PSA, but I think we'll see if we can beat their prices a little bit. So for those that don't know what the 723 is, it's a carbine that was popularized, used by Delta in the late 80s and 90s, featured in Operation Acid Gambit as well as Operation Gothic Serpent, also known as Black Hawk Down. It was a Delta Force carbine. It was a very transitional gun between the M16A1 era and the A2 era. There's some overlap in some areas with this gun, such as the lowers are A2 marked, the uppers are C7, which is essentially an A1 with a brass deflector. And then the barrels can actually be a few different profiles and still be clone correct. So they can be a pencil barrel and they can be a government profile barrel. So I've gone here to PSA's website and we're gonna go ahead and look at H&R because H&R are the heroes, save the retro world after its destruction in 2021 with the introduction of the Blood Diamond Car 15. The market was destroyed temporarily and H&R had to single-handedly bring us back. So here we got a Blem Harrington & Richardson 723 style carbine 5.56 for $985.99. Now let's take a closer look at this. When you look at it, you're like, okay, yeah, looks like a Black Hawk Down Delta carbine, looks fine. But if you're an autistic nerd, you might have a little more thoughts on this gun, right? So first off, first thing that catches my eye at least is I see a pencil barrel. So that would be clone correct, as I just said, for a 723. However, the thing that I think makes it a little bit not a 723 is going to be that A1 upper receiver. As you can see, there's no brass deflector on the gun, not like a C7. So this is an A1, not a C7. Therefore, this is more in line with a 653. If you've seen the movie Platoon, you know that those guys aren't carrying XM177s, they're carrying 653Ps according to IMFDB. So it's a long skinny barrel and it's an A1 upper. This is also known as the M16A1 carbine not really a 723. So that's kind of my one problem with PSA, with H&R stuff right now, is they don't offer a government profile barrel. They're just offering these pencil barrels. Now this is a 14.7, and it does have a pin and welded muzzle device. In the lower, it's kind of hard to make out here, but you can see it does say property of U.S. government M16A2. It's got the safe, semi, and burst settings. So it's a pretty good little clone. Now the handguards aren't shiny, so that's one thing. If you're into the shiny handguard look, you're not going to get it with that. Now I want to look at if I wanted to build the 723 that I built, basically the Black Hawk Down with the what do you call it? The government profile barrel and a C7. So let's go ahead and I'm going to go back to the home page here, click on H&R again, and we're going to take a look at the uppers, because the uppers is where I think they really shine. So if you just wanted one of these 723 style uppers, so here we got some, you're starting to see some of these. Here's no, that's still 653. 723 style for 619 bucks, which is the same upper as we just talked about on that gun. Of course, I want something a little more lore accurate. So we come down here and we see that they've got Blem H&R C7 stripped uppers. So, okay, cool. Do they have any ones that are not stripped, that are assembled? I don't think they do. I think it's all stripped. Okay, so stripped C7 for 140 bucks. Not bad. I paid $200 for mine during the shortage off of a guy off Gaps. And, you know, at the time they were hard to find. Luth was selling them for like 179 bucks, I want to say. So 200 wasn't that. It was a little bit of a rehousing fee. I live by a principle called buy high, sell low. And that's exactly what I did here when I bought mine about a year ago. But prices are much better now, so you can get one for 140 bucks. We're going to pretend like we're going to buy this. We're going to add this to the cart. Now, the barrels, PSA does not have a very good barrel selection. So we're going to be shopping elsewhere. But for the time being, we are also going to, let's see here, we're going to look at some lowers. Now, if we just want to go for something real inexpensive, they do offer a stripped A2. There's two A2s on PSA's website. There's PSA branded stripped A2, and then there's the H&R A2. And the H&R is, I will show that right now. The H&R is about 160 bucks. Here it is. This is for a black low receiver. It's got the right markings and everything. Looks good, right? However, it's 160 bucks, which can be kind of steep unless you really care about that clone correctness. I am going more for a inspired by kind of thing going on here. So if I was like real cheap, I would just go with a PSA Classic lower. It just says PA15 multi, whatever. But it's already got my A2 grip that I need. It has an M4 stock, so we're going to change that out. So I've added that to my cart as well. Updated the cart. So boom, we're so far at 259 bucks. We've got a complete lower and an upper receiver. Now there's still a lot of parts we need, so let's keep shopping. All right, so go back to H&R. Now we need the stock. So the stocks are kind of pricey now, actually. Of course, I'm looking at barrels here, and PSA does not, or H&R doesn't offer anything that's not a 20-inch, or they do actually. This is that's a light barrel. They don't have a government profile. We're looking for the government profile, so we're going to keep shopping around. Parts. Okay, so if we look for, now that buffer tube on that Blem Stealth lower is going to be a 6-position. The actual 723 would have a 2-position buffer tube. So if you really want to get lore accurate there, then you could buy that off of PSA. They do make a 2-position buffer tube for you to do that. And if you want to do it, so we're also going to need these handguards here. So these are the H&R USA made. I'm not paid by H&R. I'm literally just here. I do have an affiliate link with PSA. So if you want to build one of these guns, go to my website, click the affiliate link, and buy everything through that. So I get a little kickback if you want to buy something. agentspo.com is my website. You click that, go to my affiliate links, click on the link, and then start shopping through it. You can do that. So for my main build here, H&R USGI quality handguard. It's got the shiny look to it. A real good look. So we've added that to our cart as well. Now let's keep looking around. We still need that stock, so let's go ahead and grab that. Now the stocks are kind of expensive now. There used to be a B5 stock that had a quick detach point. I can't seem to find that anywhere on the internet. I looked a little bit and I could not find it. So here's an H&R Retro Car 15 stock. Add it to cart. Boom. So far we're also gonna need a bolt carrier and a whatchamacallit. So we'll go ahead and grab that. Unless you already got one laying around, right? Or you want to just throw one from another gun in. I guess we'll look at, see what H&R is offering. So they got a couple like retro chrome serrated bolt carriers. Here's a retro M&P AR15 bolt carrier with whatchamacallit for $170. You could grab that, or you could go real cheap and grab, we're trying to beat the H&R price, right? So let's grab a bolt carrier group for cheap. Granted, this is not going to be a gun that we're going to Iraq with. So here's a full auto nitride MPI. So it's magnetic particle inspected. 9310 steel. I don't think that is. E60, yeah, 8620. So that's the big thing, right? I usually don't like to go cheap on a bolt carrier group, but if we're doing like a fun little meme build, you know, provided it's properly staked and everything, it should be fine. So we're just gonna go ahead and add one of the cheapos because we're having fun, right? We just saw Black Hawk Down, we just saw Blood Diamond, whatever the case may be. And we're like, dude, I gotta get my hands on a, maybe you played the old Black Hawk Down game. Anybody remember that game? You just wanna get a little something to, look up charging handle, to wet your beak into the retro world, right? Maybe you were young when in the administrative results era when he made retro guns like stupid priced. You were young, you couldn't build a retro gun then, and now you're older. You're like, it's finally time to build that retro AR. Here's a $16 charging handle. That's mil spec, 7075 T6, Chinesium, aluminum. I'm pretty sure that's the good stuff, I think. Unless they're lying about it, so they might be. So, we've got pretty much all our parts here. We're at $496. We got our upper that's stripped. Now we will need a few extra parts there, so we gotta sprinkle in. I don't wanna bore people, but understand you still need a few more parts, like the rear sight and a little door. We got a classic lower here with the stock. We got a handguard. We got a bolt carrier and we got a charging handle. Now for the barrel, since PSA doesn't really have good barrel options, we're gonna go to a little website, a favorite of mine that I like to call Tax Swap. That's what they call themselves. So I bought a lot of stuff off TaxSwap. I highly recommend if you are, I'm a big proponent of the secondhand marketplace, whether it be TaxSwap, GAFs, ARFCOM, peer-to-peer, the sales and stuff like that, local forums. You can find a lot of good stuff for cheap. A lot of people don't actually shoot their guns. They just argue online about it, and you can actually capitalize on that a little bit and get some pretty cool stuff. A guy on my Discord built a gun for pretty cheap after sourcing some parts off TaxSwap, a little like URGI style clone. So that was pretty cool to see. So we're right now looking for a barrel. I want the government profile barrel, so that's what we're looking for. Now, scanning around. Hopefully. All right, so we got a Colt 14.5 government profile CMP. Okay, so government profile CMP marked, new old stock F marked. So it's an F marked front sight, meaning that that front sight was made for a flat top receiver. So for those that don't know, a non-F marked and an A1 or an A2 receiver go together, and an F marked with a flat top receiver go together. The heights are just a little bit different. So you can have, now I have an F marked front Colt barrel with, I have an F marked front sight post on my 723, so it sits a little bit lower, the receiver sits a little bit lower than the F mark sight does. For zeroing though, it's not too big of an issue. You just kind of bring that front post down and mine zeroed fine. Some people have different experiences. Now if you have a non-F marked and you have a flat top, the flat top is a little bit higher because they beefed up the receiver a little bit. So you actually might need a taller front sight post to raise it higher to zero it. For what we're doing, I don't think it's gonna be that much of an issue, so we're just gonna stick with this is $305 for a Colt 14.5 government profile. We need to also consider, since it's a 14.5 and we're on YouTube, we need to consider NFA rules, right? 14.5, that would be a SBR, as the GayTF calls it. So the A2X flash hider is probably what I'm gonna go with. Now, you might be able to get them a little bit cheaper. Bravo Company selling it for $35. So we got $35 plus $305 from this guy on TaxSwap who, let's check his, oh yeah, we got good reviews. 99 feedback. We got good stuff. I would trust this seller. I talked to him, of course, and learn about it. But that dude's selling some pretty cool stuff. He's even got a bolt carrier. How much is his bolt carrier group? Let's take a look. Selling a bolt carrier, brand new Colt C-Dot Matrix for 165 bucks. That's not bad. If you wanted to go for get an actual Colt, I don't know what a C-Dot Matrix means. To those of you guys that are like super cloners, you probably wouldn't know to do it. That's pretty cool. He's got like an M18 here. This guy's like probably in the military then, because he's got like the commemorative. Is this like a unit M18 or something? I don't know. Anyway, we're sidetracking. So A2X, so 35 bucks for the A2X, okay? Let's pull that young calculator up. So we got 35 bucks for the A2X, 305 bucks for our barrel, and then what's our total here? 496. Now this is kind of, that is including taxes? No, that's like pre-taxes. So then we're gonna add 496. We're sitting at 836 bucks, and we've got pretty much a gun complete. Now there's still some parts that upper needs, but for 836, around 900 bucks. Now, of course, if you don't have the tools to assemble it, that's another factor. If you're gonna have a gunsmith do it, you're gonna pay somebody to do it for you. That's another factor to take into consideration. But my point being is that you can get a gun that is much more, right? So let's take it back to the original H&R gun that they were selling here. The 723 is really a 653 gun. Let's take a look. It's a Blem, okay, $985.99. If you'll notice, this has a pencil barrel. Now, I think the government profile looks a little more aesthetic, so I would go with that. However, the lightweight barrel is gonna feel a little bit nicer. So that's a personal preference thing. This is like an early one. So pencil barrel, that's fine. These handguards don't look like they're shiny though, and we got a shiny handguard with ours. And then we got an A1 upper. Once again, we already talked about that, but now we have a C7. So our gun is gonna look a little more lore accurate than the one that they're selling for a price point that is a little bit cheaper. And we used a conjunction of the secondhand marketplace and what H&R is actually doing, right? So I highly encourage, if you're trying to build a retro gun, going out and buying a 723 for $1,000. Let's say you don't want the Blem one, you want the non one. The non Blem one is $1,099.99. So 1,100 bucks for 723 when you could save money and get in my opinion, a nicer looking carbine. So don't get scammed. I'm not calling PSA a scam because there is work that's involved with assembling. You also get a magazine with this. And you don't gotta, now if you already have the tools and you assemble your own ARs, absolutely source the parts. If you're looking for convenience though, you could grab an upper maybe. Even if, let's just say that, let's say we grab an upper only. So we gotta clear the card out. This video is gonna be long, all right? Okay, so let's go ahead and take a little bit of a different approach to this. We're gonna just go, you know what, I don't wanna assemble an upper, I don't wanna deal with the hassle. I wanna be lazy, and I just wanna buy the upper and the lower, slap them together and be done with it. Okay, so let's go ahead and say you don't care about what the upper looks like, you don't care about the pencil, the government, blah, blah, blah. You just want something to scratch the itch. 723, we still gotta keep within the spirit of the 723. So I was looking at that A2, but I'm not gonna do it. Okay, so 723, where you at? Okay, 723 upper. Oh, yo, they got a barrel, they got a pencil barrel right here for 7. Okay, so you could even do that. There's a 723 lightweight, you can buy the C7 separately and the barrel from PSA for 250 bucks. You can buy it, and is it already pin and welded? That would be pretty cool if it was already. I don't think it is, but that you're saving even more money right there. If you want to do a C7 and a pencil barrel, you can do it on H&R's website or PSA's website for 250 plus that 140 bucks, and boom, you got pretty much got an upper right there. Of course, you still have the pin and weld, but yo, here's a retro 723. This is a 16-inch barrel, so you don't have to worry about NFA's-ness. 600 bucks for just the upper. Let's say add that to cart. And we don't care about the lower. Let's say we don't care about the lower. Some of you may, but I don't for this video. 112 bucks, add to cart. This is what I do. I just play around and like look at the numbers, look at the data. 700, okay, I stand corrected. 757 bucks to put this gun together. And you're saving money, right? Buying a complete rifle is kind of a scam to me, which is why I think the Springfield Armory SA-16A2 is a massive scam for very similar reasons, and we're gonna dive into that briefly as well. Now let's talk about the M16A2. If you're not familiar, Springfield Armory has released their SA-16 for, I actually need to look it up because I don't remember how much it was. Somewhere around 1,200 bucks, but I don't want to get it wrong. I want to make sure we get this right. Rifles, AR series, SA-16, cool. I want to say first, I appreciate that people are doing like A2s and stuff now. However,
I think that they're trying to cash in on the gimmick. They're trying to cash in on the nostalgia, I think, is what's going on here. They're trying to make money. It's a market that I think they're a little bit late to, but if they had this market about a year ago, gold mine. But these things take time to ramp up operations and whatnot, so I think there's another company building the A2 as well for a very similar price. I want to say it's Bushmaster, maybe, is starting to make them again? Wyndham? No, Wyndham doesn't exist anymore. Okay, so the SA-16, beautiful rifle. Right? I love the A2. I love a 20-inch gun. I built the M16A3 for like 500 bucks though. So I didn't have an A2 upper, but I could have went and grabbed an A2 upper for 140 bucks or whatever it was on PSA's site and have myself an A2 and be in good shape, right? So to me, a $1,249 rifle is not worth it. I don't think. Now, it's got like a chrome line barrel and stuff, so that's nice. However, I think that if you want to get an A2, right, you're not trying to make your duty gun or anything like that. You just want an A2 for the nostalgia. Maybe you served in the military, you carried an A2. Maybe you just love the 80s vibe and you want an A2. There's nothing wrong with that. However, I think you can do it for cheaper. So let's do this little mental gymnastics again. Now that we're done with the Colt Model 723, all right, got my Larry Vickers impressions out of the way. Back to H&R we go. And we're just gonna focus on the upper, okay? Lowers and stuff like that, you guys already know. You just need that A2 stock, which Palmetto State has sold forever. You can buy it for pretty cheap, an assembled A2 lower. You know what? We're gonna have to do the whole thing, aren't we? Let's look up an A2 lower real quick. Just to see if we can build an A2 for cheaper, which I'm pretty sure we can. But I wanna make sure that I'm giving you guys good information, okay? Now, I'm not the end-all be-all, not a perfect cloner, okay, by any means. I'm not a reenactor. I know a reenactor. His name is Boner Ben, and he is very thankful. And people like him are very thankful. He's a Vietnam reenactor, and he's very thankful that they are making this stuff now because it was very hard for reenactors a few years ago to get A1s. Now you're getting gray parts. You're building pretty good clone-correct stuff from H&R. So big. Okay, so here we go. This is the PSA PA15 Complete Classic EPT A2 low receiver, blah, 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 blah. Let's throw that into the cart. Now we got ourselves an A2 completed lower, okay? And what do we got? Okay, 207 bucks so far. All right, let's go grab that barrel. Or I'm sorry, let's go grab that upper. And let's see what we can do. Now PSA, it's fair. PSA's Blem A2 rifles are, now these are gray, but they're more expensive than the Springfield Armory. And the Springfield Armory, I believe, has a chrome line barrel. So that's, I think these have the shiny handguards though. So trade-offs everywhere. I think the shiny handguards, I think the PSA H&R looks a little bit better. But let's look for an upper. Oh, that's a C7 upper. We're just trying to beat that price. There's an A2 upper with a chrome lined, complete upper black, with the bull carrier as well. Maybe not. Maybe not. The bolt carrier is not included. No, it is. It is included. Boom. Look at that. That's a nice looking rifle right there. Complete upper for where to go? Here it is. M16A2 chrome lined complete upper. Add that to the cart. And we have to do even less work than the 723. 895 bucks. We've just put together a cheaper M16A2. So unfortunately my camera died, my battery died, so switching to your pistol is always faster than reloading, so we've gone to the phone, and we just want to wrap up here. I'm talking about the M16A2. We've already built, okay, so for an 895 bucks, we built a rifle that is, I don't know if it's better, but I mean, it might be, it could be better, it's cheaper, and that's what matters. We got a little bit of the EPTs, like their enhanced polished trigger. PSA's a little better trigger, which the trigger that they're using in the Springfield looks like trigger guards mil-spec. Where's the trigger's mil-spec? It's a mil-spec trigger. This is a mil-spec rifle they're selling for $1,249. And I'm not one of the cool, unfortunately, right? You see everybody right now. They got the cool YouTubers all got their M16A2s. Coolion Noirs already sexualized the thing. Everybody got their gun early. They're talking it up. Oh, A2 nostalgia. But here's the thing, right? Don't fall for the, I don't want to say it's a scam. A scam would be if Springfield Armory was selling you a gun and then just not even sending it to you, or sending you the wrong gun, or not living up to what they're listing as far as the specs go. They're not going to be scamming you in that way, right? They're a legitimate company in that sense. They're going to give you the product that you asked for, you know, because that's good business. But you're being scammed in the sense of like you're overpaying for something that doesn't need to be this expensive. If you can even find some of the old Bushmasters and whatnot, I'm sure you can find an old A2 rifle completed for even cheaper. We'll look for it real quick just to see on TechSwap if we can find an M16 A2. But my point being is don't get FOMO and be like, I need to buy this rifle, or because I suffered from that. I was like, I need to get this Luth C7 upper because they're not gonna be here forever and I'm gonna miss out on all this. I see A4s here. Here's an MC, that's an A4. $600 though. I mean, you grab that's not pretty much the same price. Here's a Colt M16 upper on a clone. What does it say? With a gooseneck. On Palmetto USA government lower, $750. That's got no bulk here charging handle, so incomplete. But there's deals out there is my point. And we just proved right now going on PSA's website, you can buy a cheaper gun that is clone correct. It's way cheaper to do it this way. Sometimes it's better to do a little shopping around, whether it be on the secondhand marketplace or other manufacturers, than it is to just be like, I need to have that gun and then overpay. So a lot of these guys that got sent guns, now I would have been sent, if I was sent a gun, I would have been like happy about it for sure. Who wouldn't be, right? You get to test out a free A2. I wouldn't care if it was $1,249. I got it for free, right? But I'm not a Leviathan shill, so I didn't get the gun. But just don't. Retro guns aren't worth to me over $1,000. They really aren't. I see people on Gunbroker selling, especially like a year ago, they're selling guns for way expensive, and I just don't think that it's worth it. Be smart about it and shop around a little bit more, and you can find some pretty good deals. Now, for those that are more trying to go for that more clone correct stuff, the grays, right? You may need to wait to restock. I know a guy, Boner Ben, he was building the XM177, and he was waiting for the gray to restock. Eventually, it restocked. He built that gun out, which is pretty cool. That you're able to get some pretty lore accurate, historically accurate stuff outside of the full auto mechanism, of course. But we're in a golden era of retro AR parts. It's much better than it was a year ago. And if you're getting into it now, then you're lucky. Consider yourself lucky because you're buying low. And you'll see people trying to sell stuff on TechSwap. They're trying to like offload their stuff. Maybe they got their uppers, their retro stuff. I see retro stuff all over the place right now on TechSwap. You could not find this stuff a year ago. It was, if you could find it, it would have been way expensive. But I'm seeing it all over the place. And you could probably talk a lot of these people down because they bought high and now they're selling low. So take advantage of that trend and whatnot. People that really like the retro stuff are always going to like those kind of guns. And the people that were just riding the trend, they're kind of jumping off the train now and they're going on to whatever the next thing is. So that's going to pretty much make up this video. I think it was a pretty fun little exercise, and I think I proved that you can save a little bit of money and that the market is healed. So if you guys enjoyed this video, please feel free to drop a like if you want to support the channel. I have a website, agentespo.com. I also have a Patreon you can support. I have merchandise, and you guys can go buy a pretty cool little shirt if you ever played the Army Men games growing up, or you played with Army Men when you were little. I got a carry handle with the original carry handle gang. If you like the retro stuff, I got a shirt like that. I got a napalm shirt. More designs coming, and more videos coming as well. We will be reviewing a Retros Brownell scope here in the near future, as well as some more exciting projects that I'm happy to work on. I don't want to say anything yet, but I am excited to show you guys what I got going on. So with that being said, thank you for watching the video, and I hope you guys have a good rest of your day.